Isn't it weird how the world just keeps going after someone so close to you dies? That's the one thing that really hit me when my mom died. I can't explain it, but it was almost as if thought the world would end when she passed away. I simply couldn't even imagine what it would be like. But then she died when I was only 30. And the world kept right on spinning like nothing had happened. It didn't even trigger a blip on the radar. The trash still needed to be put out on Thursday. I still had to cook and put gas in the car. Television schedules were the same. My dogs still wanted affection and to go for hikes. Everything was the same. The universe was the same. But minus her. I found that sad and also oddly comforting. It drilled home the point for me that our time here really is limited. That we're all on the same, doomed, boat. And that we really don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. So you better make the most of it while you can. Enjoy it while you can. And be kind to your fellow passengers and try not to add to their suffering. It can be. It feels wrong that the world just acts like they never mattered. Almost as if they were already forgotten. It's also comfort. There's no tragedy too great, no pain too deep, that the rising sun can't promise the pain will fade in time. Mourn your loved one. The sun will be here tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Unless it's a nuclear holocaust. But I think that's a given. How is it not all over the news? How is everyone else at work just still working? It's the biggest thing in the world to you. But most people just don't care? Or they give an uncomfortable, sorry for your loss, when you explain why you're canceling some plan. But the event still happens without you. On the way to the funeral, you drive past people walking into a restaurant like it's a normal day. Yeah, it's weird. And it's also good that the world is still there as you gradually become ready to re-enter it. But it's weird. My first wife died 20 years ago, aged 28, and I have lived with this thought ever since. My world ended, but everything else just kept on keeping on. Fucking harsh reality. This hit me hard. Yes, it's weird and I hate it. My dad died last year. About to be a year in May. And I think about him every day and cry at least 3x a week over his loss. Nobody cares anymore. My family members, his in-laws, that knew him for decades, don't mention him anymore, and that hurts me so bad. I hate that I seem to be the only one keeping his memory alive. And that once I'm gone, he'll be gone completely. I'm sorry for your loss. It's the most nauseating thing I've ever experienced. 8 years later and my world collapses if I think about it too much. Yes, it is. I'm sorry this happened to you. It's always weird how things are around you when you lose someone. It was weirdly appropriate to my mind that it poured rain the day after my mom died. I was 9. The day of my father-in-law's death was bright and sunny and hot for the rest of the folks around us. There wasn't a blip at all when a good friend took his own life. But for those of us experiencing the loss, it's almost like the rest of the world is mocking our mourning. Sometimes they don't mean it. They just don't know what we are going through. Damn, this one got to me. Yes, my brother just passed away 3 weeks ago and I can't function properly. It's been a year since my grandmother died, and I thought about this recently. It'll be the same for us one day. I felt this way after my aunt died years ago and last October when my grandpa died. I hope you're doing okay. Op. The world will continue going long after the last human is gone. Life isn't contingent on the existence of humans. Yeah, it is. My dad passed away this week and it's incredibly painful. His funeral is next week. After that, then what? Life just goes on without him? Yeah, I've often had that feeling. The goddamn insolence of it is infuriating. But that's real life. The world doesn't stop for any of us. And those of us who remain are simply dragged along as though under a moving bus when someone we love dies. As someone who's gotten good at death, I can tell you all you can do is let that bus hit you and just start running as soon as you're able. There's no trick to it. There's nothing that lessens the impact. You just have to take it. You should also remember that the person you loved was happiest in those moments when you were happy with them. They'd want you to enjoy life again if they were still here. It would hurt them to see you in sorrow. So mourn as long as you need, but not a damn second longer. Start running again just as soon as you're able. I know in the moment it almost feels sacrilegious to move on. Hell, I remember one time getting upset because I finished the toothpaste tube that I'd been using before. A friend died and it was like one more piece of the world he was associated with passed away with him. But the best way we can serve their memory is to live life to its fullest. To find our happiness as soon as we're able so that their memory can become a light to the world. Those who die are not truly gone. They're tattooed on our souls and are present in our actions through what we learned from them. The sooner you start running again, the sooner they live again. There is a world that ends. It's the world within the person who dies. And there are parts of our worlds inside that also end with them. My purpose isn't to accumulate anything. For me, it's about how I can make myself the most useful with the time and attention I have to give. Yes, it is amazing. My dad died when I was 19, but we kept the usual rituals going as if he was still there. One of them was watching the nightly news. In the haze of grief, I remember repeatedly wondering how the death of such a wonderful man from heart attack at age 43 did not make the news. I realized that we all live in our own worlds, and although they intersect a lot, that we can never truly understand what is going on in someone else's. A dear friend died last month, and my brother died in December. And even though I grieve the loss deeply, their deaths don't shock me. What shocks me is the people who live like tomorrow is promised us. You doing alright, Op? Wanna talk?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Heracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.